If a plane is so big and heavy, why doesn't it fall out of the sky like a rock? I mean, have you seen a plane up close? It's like a flying bus made of metal. It's carrying people, bags, sometimes even cars or horses in the cargo hold. So how is it flying through the air like a giant, graceful bird? Welcome to Explain Like I'm 5, where we take mind-bending topics and break them down into fun, easy-to-understand stories. Ready to get curious? Let's dive in. Let's imagine something. You throw a paper airplane across the room. It glides for a bit, and then, boom, it flops to the ground. Now think about a real airplane flying across oceans and mountains. It doesn't flop, it soars. What's going on here? All right, buckle up. Let's go on a flight together. No boarding pass needed. A long time ago, people really wanted to fly. They looked at birds and thought, hey, that looks fun. So they tried jumping off things with wings strapped to their arms. Spoiler, it didn't go well. It took thousands of years, a few broken bones, and a lot of trial and error before someone figured out how to fly for real. That someone? The Wright brothers. 2 bicycle mechanics. They didn't invent the idea of flight, but they were the first to make a plane that could take off, fly, and land safely. In 1903, their weird-looking flying machine lifted off the ground for 12 seconds. Doesn't sound long, but it changed everything. So how exactly does something as heavy as a plane fly? Well, we have to talk about 4 invisible forces. Don't worry, they're not ghosts. They're called lift, weight, thrust, and drag. Imagine 4 kids playing tug-of-war with a plane in the middle. One is pulling up, one is pulling down, one is pushing forward, and one is trying to hold it back. Let's meet them. Lift is the one pulling up. This is the magic that helps the plane rise into the air. But lift isn't magic. It's actually caused by the shape of the airplane's wings. Wings are like upside-down spoons. They're curved on top and flat on the bottom. When the plane zooms forward, air moves faster over the top of the wing and slower under the bottom. This makes the pressure lower on top and higher underneath. So the air underneath is like, hey, I want to push up. And it does. That's lift. Weight is gravity. It's the kid pulling the plane down toward the earth. Gravity wants to keep everything on the ground, even you. It's why apples fall from trees, and why your ice cream hits the floor if you drop it. For a plane to fly, lift has to be stronger than weight. That's the rule. Then, there's thrust. This one's the engine. Thrust is the forward push that gets the plane zooming down the runway and into the sky. It's like the wind-up in a slingshot. Jet engines or propellers push air backward, and that makes the plane move forward. Fast. But wait, there's one more. Drag. Drag is the air pushing back against the plane. It's like when you ride a bike and the wind is blowing in your face. Drag doesn't want the plane to move, so the engines have to work harder than the drag to keep the plane going. Now, if all these forces are balanced just right, lift beats weight, thrust beats drag, the plane flies, smooth as peanut butter. So what's really happening when you're sitting in your seat munching peanuts at 35,000 feet? Well, under your feet are engines that suck in air, mix it with fuel, set it on fire, yes, really, and blast it out the back to make the plane go forward. The wings do their lift thing, the tail helps steer, and the pilot up front makes sure everything stays balanced. But let's say you're not the pilot. You're just flying to grandma's house for cookies. What do? Well, you interact with the plane without realizing it. You fasten your seatbelt during takeoff and landing. Those are the trickiest parts. You stay seated during turbulence. That's when the plane wiggles because of air bumps. You listen to the crew, who are like sky ninjas trained to keep you safe. Flying has become so normal, we almost forget how amazing it is. You can eat breakfast in New York and dinner in Paris. People deliver organs for transplants on planes. Scientists use planes to study weather. Pilots fly into hurricanes just to learn about them. Yup, hurricane chasers are real. Of course, flying isn't perfect. Planes use a lot of fuel, and that's a problem for the planet. Engineers are working on ways to fix that. Some are making electric planes. Others are testing fuels made from algae or used cooking oil. Yep, someday your plane might run on French fry grease. And speaking of the future, get ready for some wild stuff. Engineers are building planes with super long wings, planes with no windows, planes that fly themselves. There's even talk of space planes that could take you from one side of the Earth to the other in under an hour. Imagine flying from Tokyo to London during your lunch break. Insane, right? But back to Earth for a moment. Let's talk about turbulence. People get scared when the plane shakes. It's like a bumpy road in the sky. But here's the secret. Planes are built to handle it. They're like giant sky bouncers. The wings bend like a bird's, the pilot adjusts altitude, and air traffic control guides them through smoother paths. So, while it might feel weird, turbulence is normal, like a pothole, but in the sky. Ever wondered why airplane windows are round? It's not just for looks. Long ago, windows were square, but that caused pressure to build up in the corners. That led to cracks and, well, let's just say, bad things? Engineers switched to round windows to keep everyone safe. Smart move, right? Now, let's take a peek into the cockpit. That's the plane's brain. It's full of buttons, screens, levers, and two pilots who know exactly what they're doing. They've practiced emergencies, studied weather, and learned how to fly even if one engine stops working. Fun fact: planes are built to fly just fine with only one engine. It's like a bike that still rolls even if one pedal falls off. And get this, planes even talk to each other. Not with voices, but with little signals. They say things like, "Hey, I'm heading this way," or "I'm changing altitude." That way, they don't bump into each other in the sky. There's a whole team on the ground, too, called air traffic control. They're like traffic cops for the clouds, making sure everyone flies safely and in order. Flying also depends a lot on the weather. Thunderstorms, fog, and strong winds can delay flights. But airports have radars, satellites, and weather experts watching the skies 24/7. If the weather's bad, the pilots might take a different route, wait it out, or land somewhere safer. Safety always comes first. Now let's talk about one of the coolest things, the black box. It's not actually black, it's bright orange. And it's not a box you open with secrets inside. It's a tough recorder that captures what's happening in the cockpit and how the plane is working. If something goes wrong, the black box helps investigators figure out why, so they can make planes even safer. And yes, flying is still one of the safest ways to travel. Safer than cars, boats, and even walking in some cities. Why? Because every bolt, wire, and flap is checked, double-checked, and sometimes triple-checked. Planes go through more checkups than most of us do at the doctor. So, how do planes stay in the air? They work with the air, not against it. They play by the rules of lift, weight, thrust, and drag. They trust math, science, and years of human curiosity. And above all, they fly because people never stopped asking, what if? Next time you look up and see a plane drawing a white line across the sky, just remember, that's not magic. That's science. Fun, mind-blowing science. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your questions in the comments. See you next time on Explain. Like I'm 5.